All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Town of Cedar Lake Stormwater Board meeting on August 13th. If you'd please stand up and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Wendy, can you lead us in a roll call?
Ryan Leasek,
Present.
Patrick Conlon,
Here.
Benji Kinchlow,
Here.
Don Oliphant,
Here.
David Austin, Jeff Bungie, Eric Bosma,
Here.
Julie Rivera, and Wendy Schmicky. Here.
Okay, in review of the minutes from July 9th, last Stormwater Board meeting, did everyone have a chance to review them? All right. And make a proposal to approve the minutes from July 9th.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the July 9th minutes.
I'll make a motion to second it.
Ryan Leasek,
Yes.
Patrick Conlon,
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
All right, so moving on to claims for funds number 650 to the tune of $21,066.66. Is there any questions regarding the approval or the values in this fund? Excuse me. All right. Can we make a motion to approve these?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve Stormwater Fund 650 in the amount of $21,066.16.
I'll make a motion to second that.
Ryan Leasek,
Yes.
Patrick Conlon,
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to claims for fund number 652, $96,116. This is going to the 2017 storm bond payment. Any questions regarding this? Okay, can I make a motion to approve that fund?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve Fund 652 in the amount of $96,116.
I'll second that motion.
Ryan Leasek,
Yes.
Patrick Conlon,
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
All right, moving on to fund number 654 for an amount of $13,678.77. Any questions regarding this? And this is regarding the storm capital improvement fund.
Yeah, it looks like that's residual stuff with Gibbons project, and then it looks like the East Lakeshore Drive pipe repair at the bend right there at SIP.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve Fund 654 in the amount of $13,678.77.
I'll second that motion.
Ryan Leasek,
Yes.
Patrick Conlon,
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
All right, and then the last fund for tonight is fund number 656, $47,756.26. This is the Huntington National Bank 2017 Stormwater Debt Service. Any questions regarding this fund? All right. Can I have a motion to approve that fund?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve Fund 656 in the amount of $47,756.26.
I'll second that motion.
Ryan Leasek,
Yes.
Patrick Conlon,
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes.
All right, that does it for all the fun that we're having tonight. Getting into update items, we have the Angie Mikolajczyk property at 12806 Lee Court. Anything from there?
Jeff was supposed to be out there. Did he ever come out?
Jeff?
Yeah.
I haven't have to talk to.
Oh, I think at the last meeting Jeff was gonna try to run out there, but I don't know if he ever did. He did, yeah, Bungie.
No, he came one time, but that was a long time ago. He closed
Okay.
my deck and yard.
Okay. I don't have any updates. Eric, I don't know if you do.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Okay, moving on to the Labs property at 7320 West 140th Lakes.
I am still waiting on a legal opinion about how we move forward with the Sullivan adjacent parcel. I've emailed David and Jeff twice now. No update on it, about how they may or may not be able to proceed with the property since the owner is deceased. So,
That's gonna be an uphill battle.
potentially, but it's gotta go somewhere.
Okay, keep those two items on there. Moving on to the Randy Schmidt property at 13402 Schneider Street.
I guess it's done.
Huh? Done for now?
I guess it's done.
Okay.
I mean, Tyler took me over there yesterday to look. I was on vacation last week, but he actually attached his own pipe going through the yards to the basin, so that's what he said he was gonna do, so.
Interesting.
But all the stuff that we did in front of his house is done. The grass is growing and,
Yeah, maybe a longer term project to figure out if there actually is a drain tile in the rear there, but that's not in
Yeah.
any easement, it's all private.
there's drain tiles all over that place, and we were, dropping that other basin in
Mm-hmm.
front of Eric's house. There was,
Clipped
we hit
it.
a clay tile, and then on the north side of his house, we hit another clay tile, so there's clay tile everywhere in there. And they're probably still active, I would imagine.
Yeah, keep an eye on it, see how
Okay.
those improvements worked. Thursday should be a good test, it sounds like.
I mean, I don't think he hasn't called me, so I think he's okay.
Okay. I think it was more affecting his northern neighbor than him,
Yeah.
so see what those do.
Gotta get some rain to test it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any relationship in the Schmidt?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Did that rear court get cleared or no?
Yeah, we
It did?
Yeah, we did that before I went on vacation.
Okay, then we need to go out there and look at it.
Yeah.
Now that it's cleared, and we'll have an update at the next meeting. I haven't heard from him since he came 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, no, when we were out there doing that, he was out there, he didn't even come over by us or nothing, so.
Okay, I'll be curious with all the vegetation cleared, what it looks like. and
We
what-
went all the way up to that, first, utility pole, and we couldn't go any farther, cause there's just, he's right, somebody's dumping
Up there?
concrete and everything down back there, so. But you can actually drive up Webster and go up there and look at it.
Okay, is that something we gotta clear out, or?
I don't know, his property butts up to that, and it's like there's a little sliver of where that unapproved road is supposed to be, so I don't know. And then eventually it'll go down to like almost where that new house was built before you get to Kubiak's property, so.
That's a long ways down there. Okay. No, we'll take a look at it now that it's cleared. I mean, I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do based on that grade. And it's super steep.
Yeah, and there's, just by cutting it down with the, skid steer with the brush hog on it, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's washing down that road, but I don't know what you could do with that.
Yeah, because
Without curbs and drainage, I don't know.
just for everybody, it's essentially this line.
Yeah, so
I mean, You know, you're talking top to bottom slope. If we can get contour. It's close to 30 feet,
yeah.
if not more.
Cause we went up and then turned a corner and then went down too, so that's all cleared.
Around that abandoned house.
So
Is
that
there?
that might make it worse now, but, I mean,
Shouldn't. Yeah, I'm just curious if there's actually a definable swale out there and something was blocked.
there's so much of brush back down, I think there is kind of, but like he was saying, there's stuff all inside that, like, I don't know if you can reestablish a ditch line, I don't even know where it goes, I mean,
Problem is, 'cause then there's stairs down from that abandoned house up there,
yeah.
down to his kind of driveway area.
And they actually had, it looked like somebody at one point took a utility pole and threw it down, like,
Trying
in
to
the
contain it
roadway,
like a
so to
curb.
speak, yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean, we'll go marching through there and see what we can see.
okay.
We'll report back in a month.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Public Works projects. Item A, Monastery Woods 10026, West 128th Avenue.
I haven't heard.
That's,
I haven't heard
on
anything
supposed to be on
about
Tim's
this.
radar. That's right here. I mean, that's one that we have existing easements, so that's something either Public Works is gonna handle, or he's gonna funnel that out through a PGX or a B&D. So that's really on Public Works how they wanna handle it.
Yeah,
Same with number B, Summer Winds.
we did that one already.
You did that one?
Yeah, that one's done, except for, he's gotta make the decision on whether he wants sod put down or seed.
Okay.
But we did that right before I went on vacation.
How were the initial, returns on it? I mean, it's so dry everywhere right now, it's
Yeah,
hard to probably
I know.
tell. I mean, that was like a leaching kind of
Yeah,
issue.
we just put some sock tile from one to the next, and
Probably just need a good rain to see
Yeah.
if, what's happening now.
I know PGX has been kinda slow, so he may end up wanting them to do 128th as well, I don't know.
Oh,
He hasn't he has not mentioned it to me at all about that one, the only way I know about it is from the meeting here, I don't know what his plans are with that one, so.
Okay, well, we're gonna have some work for him here in a second, so.
Okay.
So that's Summer Winds. Item C, Woodland Hills, that one's kind of one of the higher project rankings, but that's kind of hanging out there.
Yeah.
That'll be probably one of the last ones to be finished. Just gonna keep going down here. Public Works D, we met with Mr. Frick, not last week, but the week before, to kind of get his initial feelings on the easements that are drawn up for his property. This is, just to refresh everybody's memory, this is the property southeast of Bugaboos. There was a stub installed on Dewey Street when that project was completed in 18 to drain a low spot on Mr. Frick's parcel. He was generally amenable to our plans, but he said he was going to take the easement documentation back and think about it. In the meantime, we did go out there and shoot some points just to make sure we can get grade. So, pending he said yes to it, it's a rather simple project. Essentially, it'll just be a stick of pipe heading out to his northwest corner and then another one to his southwest corner. So if he gives us the go-ahead, it's a pretty straightforward project. And I know that that project's not unsafe, or that parcel's not unsafe, so there's some discussion about it being torn down and building a new house, so and we told him if he does build a new house there, he has to fix it himself.
Okay.
So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. That will help drain part of the parking lot with Bugaboos that currently drains into the rear yard as well, so it'll kind of make that lot more usable and kind of take care of a poorly drained area that we've known about for a long time. So, ball's in his court. If he gives us the go-ahead, then we'll forward those documents on to the town attorney, prepare him, get him to sign it, and we'll move it forward. But, so we're just kind of on a waiting game for that.
That's a Public Works project?
I think so. If not, we'll funnel it out to something like PGX probably, if they're looking for work. I mean, I know Public Works is always busy, so.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been helping them guys out as well, because more hands are better, so.
Yeah.
We've been knocking these projects out with the help of them guys anyway, so.
Yeah. So, that one's just hanging out for now. Additional projects, Shade subdivision, 140th curb and gutter, that is done. You go out there now. It was paved, final paved, early last week or the late week prior to that. So that's done up to surface. They're just doing some landscaping touch-ups, but that whole project's going through the punch list process now, so that's done.
Looked kinda weird.
Huh?
It looked kinda weird.
What, with the one curve?
Yeah.
I know.
So, I mean, it was, if we had our druthers, we would have reconstructed the entire road, but it kinda got added late. So we didn't actually have a survey of it, so that was kinda the best way to do it. It's a little quirky. Should work though pretty well, so, came out pretty well in our opinion, but it's definitely different. So, but yeah, they milled all that, got rid of the water main patch, so it's all one continuous section now, which is nice. The woman on the corner is happy, so we're happy. So, yeah, that project's finishing up as we speak. The phase 2 of that project, which is kind of the interior portion of the subdivision, which would be Fairbanks, Hobart, Fernwood, and Windsor. That was part of a CCMG submittal that went in 2 weeks ago, so we'll hear from that. If that gets accepted, that'll be a spring project. And that'll... Yeah, it was due, applications are due end of July. We generally hear sometime in October, and we can get it out generally for bidding in December for a spring letting. So, and that'd be a pretty big project. That'll last all summer. But that'll finish off that subdivision. We'll also redo, repave all of 141st, pretty much to Cedar Creek. So, yeah, so that one's turned out really well. A lot of the residents have been pretty happy, so, yeah, big project, so. Went to Cedar Creek. I have the quote docs in my hand right now. That should go out. We're gonna quote it. I think last meeting I said we were gonna bid it, but our revised estimate's coming under 150,000, so we're gonna take our chances. We're gonna quote it out to our typical 3 stormwater, guys in town, which is PTX, B&D, and probably Metro. So we'll try to get 2 quotes from those 3, so they get legal, and then, yeah, we'll get them going pretty quick since it's a quote. It's a lot less paperwork, which is good. So it's kind of nice that we're falling with, hopefully, as we get out of this drought period, because we're going to have sod, so we obviously want to keep it wet. So, yeah, we got one more final review of this stuff to kind of tighten up some of the quote deadlines, but once we get that done, probably go out to quote early next week.
You know, wait for responses.
Yeah.
Next week too.
Generally, I mean, if it was a bid, we'd give them 2+ weeks for a quote. We'd probably give them 10-ish days. Get them back, open them, public meeting, and then we'll take it from there.
So could we see proposals at the next meeting, do you think, or no?
Yeah, we'll have quotes by next meeting.
And who has the authority to award? Is that just a town manager thing, or does it have to run through this board? Just a question, I don't...
Yeah. Typically, we would do it through town council, but we could do it through this body, I think, too.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care either way, I just want to...
No, I think we can do it through this since it's 100% being funded from your budget, so. So, yeah, you'll see quotes probably on your next meeting, kind of what we call a quote tabulation, with a recommendation for an award, and then we'll get going.
That's great news.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, gun to your head, we might have a Woods of Cedar Creek project in September.
That would be the intent, so our next meeting is
September 10th.
September 10th. So yeah, it's actually in a pretty good time to get it going with seeding, or sodding in this case, end of September. It's only we have a 30-day working contract for that one, 45-day full. So it should be a rather quick project. Pipe's not that deep. It's plastic too, so should be able to move on it. And if somebody like PGX is not busy, they can jump on it too. So should be pretty quick.
What's the voting protocol for board members that want to be present?
That won't be present?
I'll be in Minnesota.
You could Zoom?
I'll Zoom all day.
Zoom, otherwise it would have to be unanimous if there's only 2 members.
Yeah, the state allows you to attend
Yeah,
a certain amount of meetings by Zoom each year.
yeah,
There was a law that just got passed,
yep.
if I remember right.
So it's like, you have to be there for 70% or something like that, since we have one, you haven't missed one yet, so I think it's good. If you need to zoom in.
I just wanna make sure it's not being held out.
No, I mean, if you're not here and and there's two members, it has to be unanimous vote, that's all,
Nope.
so.
Good deal. All right, Woodland Shores Storm Sewer Improvement, formerly the Becker property.
I believe that one remaining eastern easement we need is done. So that one will move forward here. I don't believe the owner has been contacted yet, though. Because we have Chuck's, or former Chuck's. It's kind of old. It would be this Ocean Living Trust would be the east we need, and that's the Hines, which we already have. But that would be the only other easement we need to get it piped down that line.
What were project estimates again for that one?
Don't have them in front of me. That was where we actually had two separate estimates. One was for a full replacement of that system all the way to the lake. That one was probably pushing $250,000. The alternative estimate was laterals in 136, main line down lots 2 to 3, and then kind of connecting to an existing line at the northeast corner of lot 20. I believe that was probably in the 125 range, be my guess. Got it in front of me.
Yeah, I think we had one for 300,000,
Yeah.
another for 130,000.
Yeah. That's close. So, I mean, the pipes downstream into 136, they're not necessarily undersized, they're not laid well. Some are back pitched. I think they're 24 inches. They're kind of limited based on low slope to no slope. So, I mean, really, the crux of the issue has really been here. So, not replacing that just gets you a little lower factor of safety. A lot of this has been more related to drain tiles. I mean, we know we have a drain tile directly under Chuck's old house. So I don't remember if we were capping that or we were scared to cap it.
I don't remember.
Just connecting it in. And there's actually several drain tiles, and not just one over there. There's several at his southeast corner where it turns. So that was likely something we were going to get into during construction, and we were going to kind of see what we found. But I haven't heard anything about the current situation over there since it was sold. I think Mr. Hines came to one meeting after he signed his easement, but I haven't heard anything lately. So let me double check the status of that easement, but yeah, it's tight through there, and there's going to be a lot of tree removal, and not small trees. Like they're big oaks, I think. But it's really tight through there. I mean, they only have 5-foot easements. So let me start getting into the houses. So that one will be delicate in a sec.
Okay. Any updates regarding the Schubert Street storm sewer system?
That one's just kind of a, bigger project.
Okay.
Now that Mr. Lass is here, we can just give him an update while he's here.
He said he wanted to go on YouTube and watch what we said.
I reached back out to the town attorney, it's in his hands, and I just haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, I figured as much.
So,
Have there been any different?
come on up. Say your name.
I'm Justin Lance once again. We had discussed, or I asked, if there was any possibility of the tree that is kind of being compromised at the creek being addressed. It is starting to die now, it looks like. So not only was it leaning before, but now it's turning brown and starting to fall apart. That one does look like it's on my property. There's access from my yard to get to it if you have a bucket. That's the only question.
Yeah,
That's gonna have to come from you guys.
yeah, that would have to go to Tim King to see if he can get the truck back there.
How far is that off the
It's in the
road?
front yard, so it's not, like, you can access it from the driveway.
Yeah, I think Tyler and I drove by like a month or two ago and looked, and
The drop for NIPSCO, and my cable's
yeah,
right
it's on
there.
the,
But if you take, I mean, the top part's leaning way over the yard now.
yeah, 'cause he's got utility lines there too.
Yeah, I figured if you could get those top parts off, and by no
Yeah.
way am I an arborist to any stretch of the
We
imagination.
have to talk to Tim
Yeah,
King about that.
but if I need to drop a drop, call NIPSCO.
Well, that would be the biggest thing. If they're worried they're gonna hit that drop,
Yeah.
they're gonna want NIPSCO to do something first.
Yeah, that's fine. They'll come out and drop a drop. And then-
I mean,
Yeah, run it by Tim King.
Yeah, 'cause I know NIPSCO sometimes cuts the whole tree down and then sometimes don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, just carve it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can take care of the rest of it if they.
yeah. I discussed it with them, and if you actually look at that drop now, they just put a piece of insulation up on it, because I told them it was rubbing on the
Yeah.
fence, and I was starting to get concerned, they're like, okay.
Okay.
Then they just came out and put that on there, I'm like,
Yeah, they did that with mine too,
Yeah.
rubbing on my tree, and they just came out and put a sleeve over it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good, so.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
that would be,
I'll
yeah.
ask Tim about it and see,
Yeah.
maybe him and I can go over
Yeah,
and.
and if you guys need anything from me to help get that process moving, talking to NIPSCO, doing that stuff, you've got my information.
Yep.
Okay. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll get a hold of them.
I mean, if
We'll
it's
take
laying
care
on
of
the line, it should be NIPSCO's problem anyway, so.
Right.
Should be.
That's why they're
They
trying
should
to
be
tell.
trimming it.
If I
Yeah.
can get the town behind me and tell them that, though.
Okay.
Actual context for them to reference, I think we may be able to.
We might be able to have a
But-
better opportunity of talking to them than you anyway,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, they, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah, I'll
what it
talk
is.
to Tim about it.
Tim's got a guy,
Yeah,
and you've got a pretty good contact there, so.
awesome. Well,
Thanks for your
thank you,
patience.
guys. All right, take care, guys, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to new business.
I don't have any. Bob Carnahan asked me if there was any update on a sweeper truck.
You can tell Bob. That's just something ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah. You understand the way that NERC works.
Yeah, slowly.
Yeah. That's a 29 or 2030 project.
Oh, jeez. Is the sweeper working now?
No,
Okay.
dead.
All right, we might have to,
Still did, since we had it towed.
we might have to look into contracting out at some point,
Or
Yeah.
renting.
or renting, yeah.
Yeah, I know, Tim King did mention something about that too, but I don't know how far it went. I know he was supposed to talk to Kubiak about it and,
Or maybe reaching town of St. John as a newer one. Maybe do a per hour.
I mean, yeah, that could be something we could think of too. They did come and help us after we had a major storm, so they spent like a week helping us chip, so I mean, maybe that's something we can ask. I know Tim's really good friends with the superintendent that's over there, so. Yeah, I don't foresee us getting anything anytime soon, so.
What's wrong with the sweeper anyways? They even,
Some pump or something that just trying to get, or maybe try to find it. We had to have it towed back to the shop, and they were supposed to come out and look at it, but he's got like 4 or 5 of our other trucks, and so,
Who does?
Chad,
hence you need the mechanic.
the good thing is
Yeah.
though, he did, J&M did buy, half of Harding's in Lowell, so he has his shop out there, so it's closer. So, but we're running really low on equipment, like bad. So,
And no mechanics.
and no
No
mechanic yet. So,
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be honest with you, one of the things that you can do, and other cities do this, and they know, when's the last time that the town of Cedar Lake bought something new?
New?
I'll spare you. With that being said, there is different lease and maintenance agreements that you do on new equipment, and you have fair value traded after 4, 5, 7 years. So those are the kind of things that we need to start thinking about outside the box, and, you know, not, just because the town's not liquid at this present moment doesn't mean you need to go out and, you know.
Yeah.
Piece it together.
Piece it together, put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, and keep on fixing the one that doesn't work.
It's budget season now. What are the department heads doing for equipment requests for next year?
We had a meeting about that last week.
Yeah, I know
the week
Tony's
before.
still asking for the vac truck, and then he needs 2 new pickup trucks, or a service truck and a pickup truck, and then Tim King's got a whole list of stuff that it's just so that everything's just so wore down. I mean, the conversation you would have to have would be with Mr. Bungie and Mr. Kubiak and that other board that sits up here, because, it's starting to get a little out of hand right now, honestly. I mean, we just don't want it because it's new, we need it because it's broke, so.
And can be fixed.
Yeah, and it just can't be fixed anymore.
It's becoming too expensive to keep fixing the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got 1 dump truck out of
Tip?
6 or 7.
Like the Ghosting though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Those are all your plows, aren't they?
They're all the plow trucks, every single one of them.
And you have one working out of?
We got 1 working right now, and that's the chipper truck that they're using right now.
Out of 6.
All the other ones, even the bigger,
And 1 out of 3 chippers is working.
yeah,
But the other trucks can be repaired.
to a certain extent probably, but they're getting to the point where they should have been gotten rid of a few years ago and replaced, but they weren't, because we have situations where other departments needed things besides us. But the sweeper, I don't know, so.
Well, we can start requesting updated budgets to all the funds we have now as we start spending. We need to look back on if we have any more invoices coming in for the East Lakeshore Drive project, the Gibbons project,
Yeah.
and then,
A couple.
huh?
A couple, not too many.
Yeah, there's one, the Oak Shades one, of that,
Yeah,
130, 120, dang.
yeah.
Losing it.
Because, I mean, with the new sweeper, I mean, because when I was at that MS4 class last year, they were pretty strong on wanting you to take the sweeper out, especially going through curbs and stuff, to clean the storm drains. That would help tremendously, but we only take the sweeper out after parades or somebody makes a mess on the street or something. But the severity of actually using a sweeper,
Yeah.
it should be part of the storm.
I agree.
So, I mean, we should have had the second installment of stormwater funds come in July-ish. So we can get an updated budget from Jen to see where we're at, with the remaining projects that have been approved. I mean, this board can approve expenditures like that as well.
Can they?
I mean, it would most likely at least partially come out of this budget. However, Jen determines.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
I'm sure it would come out of here and then probably sewer, I
Yeah,
imagine.
so I mean, that would have to be coordinated with Jen to figure out how that works, and I don't know if that's a 25 budget consideration, but the time to talk about it is probably now, especially with how much stuff you got on the mend, or just done. So, something to think about.
But I've been here for going on 6 years now, and we've been talking about a new sweeper probably before I even started, so.
Same with the back truck.
Yeah, the back truck too.
Is there a grant through NERC that they can apply for, or some kind of a funding?
It's not like they can go, they're
No.
gonna get it tomorrow. and
No, no,
No, unfortunately not.
But is that what, when you were referring to NERC?
5, 6 years, you know.
That's the next tip, and notice the funding coming up here in a month, right?
Yeah.
That's down, and that's being shifted a lot. They might lose an entire year out of that, so.
That's the way it's going.
Yep.
And unfortunately, even the plow trucks and stuff are like that too. They're a year or 2 years out, so.
Yeah, NERC's not a quick, more of a long-term plan.
There is a funding opportunity that's going on right now from it's a big funding opportunity. It's about $2 billion, no cost share. So, I don't know how that's gonna be laid out, but North Lake County's thinking about applying for it. So.
Is that federal?
Yeah.
Federal?
Yeah. But 2 point something doesn't matter. All right, is everyone still awake? Okay, nothing from the area. Moving on to public comments. Any public comments, please remember to state your name and address. Podium is yours.
3 minutes. Angeline Michaelishek, 12806 Lee Court. I wanted to give an update on a few things that I was doing with my property. Mr. Oliphant, I'm not exactly sure what the conversation you had with Mr. Bungie. However, I spoke to him briefly last week regarding an issue which I'm going to talk to you briefly about. I didn't know if it had to do with that. But on the north side of my house, between the 2 homes, I kind of defined a little swale. So hopefully the water could flow better through the homes. So I did that on the north side of my house. And on the west side, which is the problem area, I had made some type of decorative pond that I had put some cobbles around. I removed most of those cobbles. I don't know what we're going to do back there, if we're going to do anything back there. And also we've been taking down some of those small trees. So I don't know what the future holds, but we realize that a lot of those trees are going to get large and we don't want them that close to the house anyway, so we're gradually trying to take away some of those trees.
Okay.
So I wanted to tell you about the west and the north part. And the other thing, I don't even really want to report this, but I feel that it's necessary. Do you recall that we had a conversation about the sidewalk and the drain in the front of my home? Okay, well, we had talked about, I had said I didn't know whether to put some danger tape around there or whatever, and so what I did, and I apologize for not calling you, I've been out of town and I had my granddaughter for 2 months, Mr. Chairman, so I do have your card and I intended on speaking to you when you can come to my property if you still can. However, I was in Texas, and when I was in Texas, a police officer came to my door and we had got a warning about blocking the sidewalk from code enforcement. So I called Mr. Bungie. I was all upset, and I'm like, you know, what's going on here? Because the sidewalk's dangerous. It needs to be blocked. Where does the sidewalk end? You know, so he said, well, I could see both points. I told him that I would revisit him with this conversation this week, but he's not here today. So, but here's the warning, and it says that our Jeep was in the driveway parked across the sidewalk, and it was right there. We have right now about an 18-inch plastic planter I put on the sidewalk, and the Jeep tires, so nobody can cross there.
But what was the distance between the Jeep and where the sidewalk ends? 20
Sir,
feet tops? 15 feet?
2
No,
blocks.
a foot.
Maybe like 4 feet at the
Yeah.
most.
You got I'm astonished that you got a
So
citation.
and then, you know, what,
Can I
the person
speak to
that
citation?
called and reported it was the person that resides with Bruce Young, Camille Shoup. And she works in McCauley, which is the selling agent of my home, and I paid them when I bought the home. So in essence, the builder reported me. The builder that built the sidewalk.
Why? Didn't Tim give you permission to remove it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere anyways. What are
It
you
don't go anywhere. It's not ever gonna go anywhere.
Well, it's dangerous.
Probably because
Yes.
the tire.
We need to figure it out. So I get that, and I'm going to talk to Mr. Bungie and see if we can figure it out. But in the process of that, I read she had referred to an ordinance, and the ordinance that she referred to says, vehicle crossing sidewalk, a driver of a vehicle shall not drive within any sidewalk area except at a permanent or temporary driveway. That's what the ordinance says. So that's why I got a warning. So in my research, because I'm like, what's going on here? So this is what I found. 94.06 sidewalk construction. It shall be the duty of the street commissioner, municipal engineer, or other authorized person to supervise construction or repair the sidewalk. Sorry.
Hmm?
Yeah,
This is
it's,
an existing
It's 94.06 sidewalk construction, Cedar Lake Town Code.
I mean, that would have qualified when it was built. That's not maintenance of an existing sidewalk.
Or repair the sidewalk within the town.
That's
Okay, well,
related to when it's built.
okay, I don't want to argue with you, but the thing is, if they're going to give me a violation for blocking a sidewalk, they're kind of like claiming it. My fear is that I know from a previous document that I saw that I know the sewer line goes under my driveway, and then also the yard drains there, so I don't want to pick something up and take possibility of damaging something. So Mr. Bundy did say what you said about Mr. Kubiak offering. He said when he was fixing the drain that maybe they could tap the sidewalk, because I told him I could repurpose the construction. Okay, but he never came. I mean, they came, but they didn't need any equipment to fix the drain. So it never got tapped or whatever.
Well, that's why I was asking if Jeff had seen you. I know we talked about that in the past, and it was more in his and Tim's hands to do whatever they're promising to do, but I haven't heard anything, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
I haven't either. You'd think I would be the first one to know about it, and he hasn't said anything to us about it.
Yeah, at this point, I feel somebody's gonna run just to sue me.
I mean, I would just take it out. I mean,
I would too.
So the violation is, from the way that I read it, is because you're part of the driveway, you were blocking the sidewalk.
Yes, so I need to know where the sidewalk starts, or sidewalk ends.
But when
4
it's
feet
your-
from your Jeep.
Sorry.
I'm not laughing at you.
No, I don't get it though, I don't know what that
It
means.
blew my mind.
yeah.
Well, imagine how I felt, I was in Texas at the time, and
Don't park 4 feet from.
my poor son, he parks there too, I mean, he has a little RAV4.
Yeah.
I mean, my driveway's, what, 25 feet? My driveway's not that long. So, yeah, that's the problem that we have.
I mean, it's 2 blocks of sidewalk, 10 feet long.
Yeah.
So
But right now, 'cause-
I thought we were under the impression it'd be removed, and
We were ready to take it out when we first
I
seen you.
know.
We were ready to take it out right then and there, but then we were told not
And I
to.
do have to say, because I just need to inform you, I did go to the plan commission, and Mr. Austin said, oh, you need to ask the zoning appeals, so I went to zoning appeals, and, the chairman, he said, I can't give you permission to remove that sidewalk, because I asked him, I said, I need to have something in writing here, because, or something, because I don't want it to come back on my property saying you don't have a sidewalk from here to there. And he said, well, I can't give you that permission.
well, this board definitely can't give you permission.
I know.
I mean, it has to come from town manager's office.
Yeah.
I know, but right
Yes,
now, there's an
direct
existing
somehow.
dangerous situation there that I'm trying to do something about and get in trouble for it. It's ridiculous, I'm sorry, but
I mean,
it
and
is.
then there was a rule said you still have to have a sidewalk on the other side, but you made a good point, the neighbor across the street, there's no sidewalk.
They did at their driveway, effectively.
Because it goes nowhere, I mean, it's just woods.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
So I wanted to tell
There's a
you,
drain.
Yeah, mine walks-
Literally,
mine is-
there's a drain right there.
and it drops, what, about 2 feet
Yeah,
at least
so even
now?
if you wanted to extend the driveway, or the sidewalk, you would have to raise that drain up considerably.
And then they said it wouldn't work, really, if you lifted it up.
Oh, yeah, because it would be in the middle of the
It
sidewalk.
needs to be low.
So I did try to get this in different areas, try to get this resolved, and I don't know what to do. I
I don't think there's anything this board can do, unfortunately.
I think you have to talk to the town manager.
It has to be building department, town manager.
Yeah, that would
Well,
have
I
to be.
did talk to him, and he said he could see her point.
At this point?
Yeah,
But you,
But this is,
I'm just telling you.
well, okay, but this is like 2 separate things. So this one is because I assumed the chief was there because for 2 months, whatever.
No, we drive it daily.
Okay, but it was parked in the driveway of but in the sidewalk, so if you.
Correct, the
block
rear
that
tire, yeah, but the sidewalk being blocked is an unoperational sidewalk.
She's blocking the sidewalk with her car.
I understand that, but that's
Yes,
the
Yes.
violation here, the sidewalk to nowhere.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
So she's parking her car, so it's blocking the sidewalk so nobody walks up
Yes.
through it. Instead of putting tape around it.
Yeah, I didn't want to,
Yeah.
tell you honestly, I didn't want to put danger tape, because I didn't want to accept that responsibility. I used to be a property manager, and I'm not putting it and saying, oh, I know it's dangerous, and I'm not doing anything about it.
Yeah,
That's why I
plus
didn't
it'd
want
be
to.
an eyesore anyway, you
Yeah.
don't want that stuff
And
going around your house.
unfortunately, I can't go break it up. And then after reading these ordinances, and with Tim, what Tim had said and what Public Works had said, it's like, you know what, why can't they just take this little step of concrete out and leave me alone, put sidewalk ends or
Just take
something?
it out. It only
I can't
takes,
tell you to do that. but-
I know, it'd only take probably not even a half hour to do. And,
Well, that's what Mr. Bungie said. He said, well, Mr. Kubiak said he'd meet you halfway, and I said, well, yeah, I can repurpose the concrete, I mean, I know it's heavy, but,
just take it, break it off, and leave it there, let you do it.
and then I don't know, like I said, if there's any pipes there, because there is sewer under my driveway.
there is,
I don't know if that's right.
If there is, it would be so far underneath that.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
much, much deeper, so you wouldn't have to worry.
Pull it, the sidewalk's probably only like this, yeah, so
It's
you
pretty
just
thick.
pull it off, and then you can fill it back in with dirt, and I don't, unfortunately, I can't make that call.
Well, there's two pieces, and quite
Yeah.
frankly, the one that's up, I could see, okay, that come out.
Yeah.
The other one is really flat, and it's right next to the drain. I'm afraid that if I take it off, the earth might fall into the drain.
We probably would have to reconstruct it somehow,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, guys, I just don't know what to do, so I'm
No.
hoping that you can give me some advice as far as,
that's a little over excessive right there, though,
well, yeah, and well, I can have a lot to say about that, but I'm gonna try not to be
Yeah.
emotional about that.
I would love to be able to go over there tomorrow and take it out, but I would, it's up to Kubiak.
The only advice I can offer is come into the building department, go to the window and ask for a meeting with Jeff.
Yeah,
The only thing I can, the only advice
But
I
I
can give
spoke to
right
him
now.
on the phone, but
Huh?
I appreciate your advice, but I did
Yeah.
speak to him on the phone.
The direction has to come from face to face. It has to come from him.
yeah,
Okay.
and then he
Well,
has to talk to
I know in the
Jack
plan
about it.
commission that, the commissioner there said that these boards are advocate for the town as well as for the residents. So I'm asking you to advocate for me. Maybe that you could suggest, maybe, you know what, it's true, this sidewalk does need to come out, and maybe
I mean,
that
I
could
can
put a
ask him
fire,
again.
put a fire under
I
something.
mean, I don't know how much I can do, but I can ask him again and see what he says. I mean, he may have legitimately forgot about it. I mean, I know he's a very busy man, so, but,
Yes, and to be quite honest, I have not gotten very many places by going to the town, to the building department.
You know, I see Jeff usually every Monday night. I can talk to him.
Yes,
But-
I would appreciate it.
But what I can't wait for 6 months from now when the sidewalk is removed.
Yes, and then I get a violation.
And then
say I
get
don't have-
another violation.
Thank you, sir. That's what I'm trying to say. I need something in writing, some type of documentation, something that says, you know, I appreciate Mr. Kubiak saying, oh, we'll do this, but
yeah.
he's not the plan commission, he's not, you know.
No, he's just in,
Yes.
he's like in the same boat I'm in. He's higher than me because he's my boss.
Yes.
But he's got a boss he needs to talk to too,
Yes.
which is ultimately Jeff Funky.
I got
Yeah.
a violation because my shrubs were blocked, grew so high that they blocked the house number on my house. Even though my house number's on my mailbox.
And everywhere else,
I
yeah,
got it.
I know. Well, I just hope nobody gets hurt because, and I don't know,
Yeah.
He did?
and,
And then I had to take a picture of the correction and bring it in here and send it to him.
Yeah.
Is that from the town or the?
Yes, the
And-
code enforcement. Sorry,
No,
you're not the only
no.
one who gets picked on
No,
that, I guess is what I'm saying.
I know.
I would
Well, the
also,
code enforcement came out like to my house like that, but when I have an issue, it takes a year. Anyway, the one thing I do want to reiterate, Mr. Oliphant, is that when Mr. Austin was here, he had said, I believe it was in the Plan Commission, where we had talked about the sidewalk, and he had said, I stress for, or urge everyone to look at a case in Crown Point. It was a case with Rutherford versus the city of Crown Point, and apparently somebody had gotten hurt on a sidewalk, and they had sued the town, and the city, and the city said, no, 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 it's a responsibility of the property owner. And then they, on appeal, it went with that the city was responsible because they got funding to fix sidewalks, and they chose to put in new sidewalks instead of repair what they had. So I think, you know, so that's what Mr. Austin said about the situation. So I think we need to really figure out, huh?
I thought you brought that up.
No, Mr. Austin said to the Plan
yeah,
Commission.
Dave did.
And then I went and read the,
I'm not gonna comment on legality of it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll leave that up to him, but.
yeah, so that's where I'm coming from, you know, because I'm getting mixed signals, so. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what to do. I mean, I could talk to Mr. Bungie again.
We'll, if you attack it from your end, we'll attack it from our end as well.
I appreciate
Yeah, I'll
it.
bring it up to Mr. Kubiak and see what he said. He may just tell us, if I catch him on a good day, he may just tell us, just go out to it, just take care of it. So,
Yeah,
and then you'll be responsible for all the rest of it, but we can
Yeah.
work it out.
yeah. Well, I still need to figure out where the sidewalk ends.
Yeah, I mean, do they have any plans on going any farther with that sidewalk?
No, there shouldn't even be sidewalks there, quite frankly,
I
but
mean-
that's the rules.
And then it gets too steep to even have a sidewalk,
Yeah, we're probably past the EDA slope.
and then it gets down to one lane.
Oh, and I do want to say, I do sweep my street.
Thank you.
Just gotta get everybody.
Because I'm on the lower, so
Yeah,
all the
I
time.
think one of your streets was one of the last ones that we did
Yeah.
sweep with the sweeper,
I noticed
so-
you guys out there doing the drains.
Yeah,
So, my intentions were to put something in writing, but I know I wasted enough of your time right now, but that's the situation, and I'm really frustrated with it. So,
I'll talk
thank
to
you.
him.
I'll talk to Jeff on Monday.
yeah,
You talk to Jeff, I'll try to talk to Jeff.
I'll try to talk to Jeff too. Like, I got back yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him today. Like I said, I was hoping he was here.
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, anything going on with the back?
I've heard boo.
Oh, okay. Oh, and I also wanted to say, because I should, that the neighbor did disconnect the drain spout that was running off his into my yard. He did disconnect it.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Small victories.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Glenn?
My name is Glennis Latham, 6822 West 142nd Place, which is Cedar Creek. Just to clarify, I understand that there is funding for the Woods of Cedar Creek project, okay?
Yes.
Is there any time frame? I understand the time frame of bidding and things like that, you explained all that. Is there any proposed time frame of when we might be starting the job?
Well, if we can get quotes back before next meeting, get an award, it'll take some time to get some of our insurance documents together from the contractor. That'll take probably a week or two to get that stuff together, so we're probably looking end of September, would be my guess.
End of September,
Yep.
1st of October, maybe at the latest?
Yeah.
Because a bunch of us are gonna be going on a cruise
Yeah.
until like, what's
I mean, that's fine, we have access, so we're coming through your property.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're
right.
coming through there, so, I mean, you guys don't need to be home, so,
Well, the only reason, is there any way that you could come over and show me exactly where you're gonna come through? And, because it's been 3 years since we've
yeah.
talked about this project, and there's new owners that really don't understand what's,
Oh, yeah.
they've signed off that says, yeah, let's do it, but they don't understand exactly where it's gonna go, and,
Yeah, well, once the contract's awarded and once they start going, they're gonna have to stake where everything's out. They're gonna have to stake where the inlets will be, and then you can kinda connect the dots from there.
yeah, because I got an area that's probably 30 feet wide,
Yeah.
that they're gonna come in on my place.
I think we
to
got
get to
20
the job.
20 feet of that will be over construction matting, so,
Yeah, because where my well is in there,
Yep.
you know,
and we will stay away from that for sure.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, so once we get further along, so hopefully next meeting, we'll have a better idea of who's doing it, when they'll start. Before they start, we'll have to stake everything out, and then you'll see everything clear as day where it's gonna go.
Well, one of the reasons why we're concerned is, a lot of the neighbors do have dogs, and they use that area to use it as a restroom,
Yep,
and they're not gonna be able to.
not for a month or so.
It's gonna be a timeframe where
Yeah.
we're gonna have to use alternate methods.
Well, we have,
Which is
like I
okay.
said, before, it's a 30-day working day project, so they can take up to a month, a little longer than a month of working days.
Okay.
I don't anticipate taking
So
that
it
long.
could be starting the 1st of October and the end of October.
Yeah, I would hope, we wanna do it as quickly as possible so we can get some good weather on the sod.
Terrific.
I mean, a lot of you guys have already, irrigation back there, so.
Oh, yes.
Should be a good way to keep it alive, which is great. And since it's sod, it should establish pretty quick, so.
Yeah, there's irrigation all along that whole area.
Yeah, and part of the project, we have what we call undistributed items for either relocating, irrigation lines we hit or heads that we hit, so that's part of the project as well. We'll try to miss them as good as possible, but,
See, we're trying to explain that to some of the newer
Yeah.
neighbors, exactly what's gonna go on and what's gonna be finished, what's finished product's gonna be like, you know?
yeah, and as we lead up to that, especially when we get to the next meeting, we'll have a better idea. And then if
Okay.
we need to schedule a site visit out there with everybody to kind of better explain it, we can do that too.
Sounds good. Any more questions?
Are they gonna backfill your ditch?
Yeah, there's a, 4-foot ditch in my backyard. They're gonna fill that, because that's basically where the line's gonna go.
It will be likely maintained in some form or fashion. It'll likely not be as deep, but we do want to keep that flow path there in case we ever get clogged or something like that. We don't want to completely fill it in. So it'll be shallowed, we'll call it.
Yeah, because that's,
Yeah.
well, the first week we lived there, my
Yeah.
wife almost broke her ankle walking across through there.
Yeah, we'll likely soften it a little bit, but it'll still be there to get the water to the inlets. So,
Okay,
yeah.
certainly.
So, and that'll be one of the last things, once you get all the pipe in, there's a grading line item, and we'll smooth it all out before we put the sod down, make sure it's pitching the right directions, and, yeah,
Okay, thank you very much.
all right.
Enjoy your cruise.
Yeah? Yeah, jealous.
Going to Greece?
No, we're going up to New England.
Oh, beautiful.
Making this quick so everybody can go home. My name is Deborah Nelson. I live at 8605 West 131st Avenue in Meyer Manor. 5 years ago, I started, there is a retention wall between the property, the lot that me and the neighbor have. So I came down to the building department and just asked, as a property owner, what do I do, what can I do, and basically I went to a bunch of meetings and asked questions, for guidance even, just for somebody to come look at what I'm dealing with. Nobody could come out and look at my property. I was instructed by, this was going on since 2019, so this is 5 years. I was told that I would have to get a civil suit. First, I would have to get a legal plat of survey to verify who the property owner of that retention wall was, which it verified it was not my wall. Well, over time, I'd ask this neighbor, can you please get this wall and get it off my property? It's over 2 foot onto mine. Well, they went ahead and did that. I had to file a civil suit, which cost me $1,500 attorney fee, plus a $600 survey fee, which I can't even have the back pin done. Nobody could come over and look at this project. They were approved, which gets me, the building department should have never approved something that says retention wall by a homeowner for $600, 23-foot retention wall. This was their paperwork. There's no description. Their surveyor locator report says not to be used for construction or establishing boundary or fence lines. This was used. 23-foot long retention wall, 3 foot deep and 8 foot wide. They bore holes in this thing, and they actually lifted it up with jacks, which I was really shocked that they got that thing up. But they cut off 3 foot off of one end. And I'm a downhill property. Behind my shed is flat, and it's puddling, just with that little bit of crazy rain, water thing that we just had a few weeks back. I'm getting water back there. This is a picture of what they left. No, I didn't get really good pictures, but I've got minutes. I went to BZA, I went to a town council meeting when Mr. Niemeyer was there. I went to a plan commission, and that's what they did. This retention wall actually went all the way to my fence post. And this is the other end of the wall. They left it open like this. They didn't put no membrane in there. They filled it up with some landscape rock and a little bit of dirt. I have a whole camera full of pictures. And I'm like, do I need to call code? This property owner's moving. They're selling their property. But I'm getting water. And I've gotten the runaround. I've been misguided through this, it shouldn't have cost me anything to get someone's property off of mine.
How long ago was this?
This started in 2000, they just finished this project this year.
So I'm a little bit confused, and bear with me for a minute. So the retaining wall was on your property, you filed suit and had it, they had to remove it,
They had
correct,
to,
as a result of that suit?
Yes,
So they knocked it down and removed it in its entirety?
They bore holes in it, and they lifted it up with chains and winches in
And-
3 different spots.
And then they moved it onto their property?
Yes,
Okay.
but they did not fill them holes up. So I've got the open holes, there's sump pump discharges underneath the back deck, which in turn now is going down by the tree where they ripped all these roots out. And then they left, it should have been a 23-foot wall, just like their building permit says. Nobody measured this stuff. I'm just floored, you know, this shouldn't have cost me anything. This is what was provided when I asked for public information request. And I did dismiss, so they could list their house. Once the wall was off my property, I contacted my attorney, I said, they've got that wall off of my property? He goes, they've got it off of there? I go, yep. He goes, well, that's what we were out for, was to get it off of your property. And I'm like, now what do I do with these holes that they bore in it? I mean, they're big holes, they're, you know, and I didn't get anal and say, well, you hit my fence and ate a hole in my fence, because my fence wasn't perfect. But I'm paying for stuff like this and can't even have the last pin placed, because there was a piece of concrete left, and I swear that piece of concrete is, this is the kind of job that was done. This wasn't just a little getting there with a shovel. You can scroll through, there ain't nothing that you're gonna see here, so you'll get embarrassed.
I won't be there.
Oh, okay.
Well, so this permit was this year?
Yep, and they only did it, I spoke with her several times, and I kept getting that. Oh, my attorney said if you want that off of there, you gotta get it. Oh, I'll take care of it. And until they decided they were selling their property, and I said, that's passed back in.
I mean, I can't speak to the building department, but, you know, when you build a house, you dig a hole, you have an inspection, there's a series of inspections. I don't know what the inspection would be for moving a retaining wall.
They were told.
And I'm not, and I'm, yeah,
I have a recording of them being told to go ahead and direct that water at my house,
Who did
onto
the
my
work?
property. A friend,
Of course it is.
Terry. Come. Terry and his wife. And you wanna see pictures of that? I got pictures of that too. Him out there with his shovel and his shirt, and Mr. Kubiak told him to go ahead. Go ahead and direct that water behind that shed. I'm like, that wasn't right. That there's code about that. I know there's state and town ordinance about storm water. So here I'm stuck now. We're gonna be getting a rain. What am I gonna do when all this shit starts flushing out?
Don, does this
See, look at the
address
holes.
ring any bells or neighbors'
No one
address?
came by. They all
Tim-
drive by, and code drove by, everybody drives by, but no one looked at my property.
I know
Her
Tim
property, they went up
looked
on.
at it, he's brought it up to me kind of on the cuff, but I've never been out there. I mean, the grades indicate runoffs going northwest, southwest through a parcel, so they technically have legal right to discharge onto a parcel just based on existing contours. I don't know how the retaining wall is draining, those holes are probably weep holes.
They put them in there to lift it. I've got pictures of that.
But no, I don't know much about
They bore them holes in there, they weren't there prior to the, I've got pictures of last winter icicles between that wall where it was so wet, so much water was behind it. You know, this shouldn't have cost me anything, you know, I've got a little bitty $120,000 home or whatever, but
Well, we'll talk to Tim about it and see what's going on there, but
he's already told me, as I have recorded, you live on a hill, it sucks, it is what it is. That's what he told the person that the property owner, the homeowner. It sucks, it is, but it is what it is.
I mean, I will say this, unfortunately, with built houses that were probably built in the 50s, 60s,
Oh, it was built in the 20s.
20s,
That's how long that wall's been there.
like, these are
Right.
extremely difficult to say retrofit or
You know,
correct
even
some of
her
these stuff.
permit, she didn't even
Yeah.
have the right lot number. That's what gets me. The
Okay.
building department just pushed it through. Nobody looked at any plans. Here I'm going to meetings and everybody in the neighborhood thinks I'm a big asshole because, you know, got a concern. I want to access my own property, you know?
I mean, these
I'm
are
getting
just,
taxed on it.
yeah, I'm just saying these situations are difficult to
I know, that's
correct,
why I had to
because
go to
everything
civil.
is so tight.
That's why I had
back
to
there.
do civil.
Um,
And now I'm stuck with a big part of the wall missing, and where that one, it discharges out of her sump pump and it goes right to me because they ripped all these roots out of the tree, and
yeah,
it's gotta get pretty deep to get over that tree hump,
yeah.
over that root hump.
I don't know, this was, I've heard about this briefly, but honestly don't know much about it.
I know, nobody does because nobody would come and look at it,
Yeah.
even before I had civil. And when I had civil suit, and I'm in there going, well, what's her plans, retention wall? What's the plan? Pull it out, knock it up? I don't know.
Yeah,
Nobody, you know, like I said, there's no membrane in there, just rocks. He didn't put all the dirt back in there that came out. I'm like, that's a new one.
yeah.
But
Cool.
as soon as that starts raining, all that dirt is just gonna come through that crack there, it's gonna come through the back, and then the rock's gonna follow right along.
Yeah, we can talk to Tim, see what he
Yeah.
says.
And then just put it on the update items for next meeting.
Would anybody like me to send them pictures? To an email, or,
What's your phone number, Eric?
well, you can do it privately after the meeting, or, you know,
I
an
don't know my
email,
phone.
or...
You give your information to Wendy
I never
after
called
the
myself.
meeting,
Okay.
she'll cycle it around.
All right, anyone from, WWW? Nope.
Nobody online. No. I didn't know if you meant with Creek.
All right, that does it. Thank you, everyone. See ya on September